Batty, would you like to introduce yourself really quick?
I'm BatteryBatty. I do a lot of things for the channel. I DM Bugs Like Bones and Mobius Adventures, and I draw sometimes. That's about it.
Understood. And I am ChibiWisdom. You can find me at ChibiWisdom over on Twitter. I do all sorts of stuff, and more than likely by the time this is released, I will be posting all sorts of art on my Twitter of everything that you have seen in this game, with the exception of any like splash screens that are just screenshots or other people's art. I don't know.
Okay.
So I have a little to preface what I prefaced in the first session was that this is a heavily modified D&D game where a whole bunch of stuff has been created. It takes place in the Universal Century timeline, but with a whole bunch of modifications, because the Universal Century timeline is actually really bare bones when you get to the meat and potatoes of it all. But outside of that, we're here.
Whoa. I'm excited.
I have a thing I need to read. The year is 0079, Universal Century. The Xeon forces have pushed the war effort onto the front door of humanity, which with means of total domination. As the Earth Federation scrambles to find a solution to the Zaku crisis, brave men and women stumble into the fray, outmatched, outgunned, and without hope. The scene opens up on a dusty, dirty barracks with one whole wall lined with bunk beds, and the center area of the room lit up with only a single lantern and a couple of metal chairs strung about. There's a desk off into the corner, and plenty more present. At least this is what you remember the barracks to be like. But we're actually not going to start here. As a vignette, this barracks looms over the mind of one Renz Primo, who instead of sitting in a comfy, or I guess uncomfortable bed, is now sitting stiffly in a chair. One lined with fine leathers, oaken wood, and a large desk sits in front of you, made out of very nice earthen mahogany woods, and has nice etchings and carvings inlaid into it. The room you're sitting in is an office space that belongs to a Earth Federation officer that you're very familiar with at this point. I have had the luxury of knowing for quite some time. There is a single glass of whiskey in front of you on that desk. At the current moment, it would appear that the now Colonel Elijah Garcia is currently not present within the room. There are books off to the left side of you, and a large window directly in front behind the desk is laid before you, with a curtain slightly closing it and leaving a little crack open for you. Would you like to describe your character, Batty?
Okay, so Renz Primo, he is a soldier. He always wears the standard issue, like UF, like pants, I guess, but he basically on top he just wears a tank top. He is kind of tall, 6 foot, kind of stringy, but muscular, kind of like almost like Spike Spiegel would be the best comparison in my mind right now. Like sort of built. He's skinny, but also has a decent bit of muscle. He has big round glasses, little scruffy, a little scruffs of facial hair, sideburns. But the most notable thing about him is probably he has this fluffy kind of magenta hair that sticks straight up, or it looks like it probably was meant to, but because the sheer weight of the hair, it kind of just folds over onto part of his head. But it's just pretty just fluffy, sort of kind of short hair, but with like a lot of volume. And you can see his art right here. But yeah, that's also he has as custom, he has a toothpick in his mouth at all times.
The bright light of halogen flickers down upon you as you sit in this room across from a empty desk. The hallways and rooms leading up to this office space had been noticeably devoid of all light. In fact, some debris and trash had been just in the hallway outside, as if to insinuate that not many people have gone to this office space to meet with a Elijah Garcia. But you have been left here by a secretary to wait. What would you like to do?
You said there's a bottle of whiskey.
There is a glass of whiskey in front of you.
I'm just gonna sniff it for a bit and I guess swirl it around.
Taking a sniff of it, you can tell, at least just from aroma alone, it's relatively expensive.
Okay.
Definitely not cheap whiskey.
Well, might as well not let this go to waste. And he's just gonna start drinking, and he's just gonna casually saunter over to the window and try to look out the curtain.
Peeking through the window, you see a large view of space. And just off to the left-hand side, while gazing out into the nothingness of the stars, you can see a station slowly rotating, ever so gingerly. And there is a bridge that connects off to where you are at. It's a bit surreal, realistically, realizing that there is all of this outside of the scope of where you once were and what you had once done. But you're here now.
Okay. I don't think it can whistle loud enough, but Brins is just gonna give a little whistle, just looking at I guess the spectacle of space, and then he's just going to haphazardly, I guess, just start looking around the bookshelf, just browsing things, basically biding his time while he waits for the colonel.
Give me a quick perception check.
I can do that. Perception. 9.
There's nothing particularly interesting on this bookshelf. In fact, it looks like most of the books that are on this bookshelf have never been touched, ever. perhaps the Colonel mostly uses it for display rather than actual reading.
Okay.
You do find a kind of tucked a little bit into the bookshelf, a cigar box, and probably half casually you just decide to take one.
I'll just pocket it.
Yeah. But you also find, as you're kind of looking around, a small little booklet that looks like it contains a couple of photos.
Huh.
One of which you recognize if you decide to flip through it.
I'll just kind of look over my shoulder, make sure there's nobody standing in the room behind me, and I'll start flipping through it.
Some of the photos are like standard stock fare of like Earth Federation. Some of them are even like look like newspaper clippings of like little propaganda images, like Earth Federation needs you, and join the military today. But as it flip along, you find some photos that more document individuals and experiences, and you stop on one photo, which is a image of you and your squad on that day, or at least the day before it all happened. And that is where we will snap to the past, where that barrack is now in full use. We cut to a time where there is a radio in the room that is blaring on full volume, the smell of smoke so vivid that you could have sworn you are actually there, practically choking you out if it weren't for the fact that someone left the door open the whole time. The one lantern of light is being used quite vividly, mostly just for playing cards, and only for playing cards.
What time of night is it?
It is not even night.
Oh,
It's
day.
just that
Day.
it's the only light in the room.
Okay.
Both Louis and Nakaha have been busy just shooting the shit, while Dalida appears to be playing solitaire with himself. Judao, the young private of your squadron, has been diligently cleaning their rifle, as if annoyed at recent circumstances, which is understandable considering that said recent circumstances are the reasons why your knuckles are currently swelling and bruised.
Okay. Can I assume that Louis is the one with the radio turned all the way up?
Yes.
Ugh. Nander, can you turn it down? I'm trying to get some sleep.
Come on, it's one of the best songs out there.
Yeah, you can play it when I don't need to take a nap, which is right now.
You should always be ready whenever we're needed.
Yeah.
On the call and all that.
That's why I'm trying to get some shut-eye, so I'll be well rested when they should send us into the middle of gunfire. I don't need to be listening to this. What the hell is even playing right now?
The best thing that's ever come out all this year.
Well, it's
apparently it was made by one of the troops.
Please don't tell me you have a side gig now.
I wish. Think about the money we could be making. Nah, it was like apparently some guy from a MS team.
Well, if you ever meet him, tell them to learn how to play better.
Maybe I should ask him if he can make you some lullabies then.
I'll look over to Yuri.
Private Judao Yuri is just cleaning her rifle, seems really annoyed about something, and is putting a lot of force and pressure into it. Has just been listening to the conversation, eyebrow twitching slightly on occasion.
Rin's realizing that he's not going to get a lick of sleep in before next mission is just gonna kind of sit up and scratch the back of his head. Hey, Yuri, you okay? You look like you're about to polish the paint right off.
I would be okay, but did you really have to do that?
What? The guy was asking for it.
You punched Elijah.
And?
I'm not saying he wasn't asking for it, but you punched an officer.
He's not high enough rank for me to care, even if he is my superior. Also, I'm pretty sure everybody above him was really looking forward for that guy to be punched in the face anyways.
You're gonna get a barking at, you know.
Slap on the wrist, I don't care.
Is it all worth it just so that way you could protect a damsel in distress?
Oh, please. You a damsel?
Are you saying that I can't be a damsel?
I'm pretty sure if I didn't step in, you would have done something even worse, is all I'm saying.
You're right, I would have. I probably would have pulled out the knife in my boot and stabbed the man.
And see, that's why I need to step in and beat the shit out of Elijah when it's necessary. Because you are a much smaller fish than me. And I don't think stabbing an officer is going to help your career in the military at all.
What career?
I don't know. Maybe if you don't get shot 30 years from now, you can go home.
If I even have a home at that rate.
Oh, you can always make a new one. I could see you being a little old lady getting into gardening or crochet or whatever old people do.
Gardening? Ugh. I can't do that. I mean... Miss Nakaha, can you believe this one? Gardening. Gardening? Do you see that anytime soon? I don't see anything anytime soon for you. If both of you act, especially with Nander around, you're all dead meat. Have a heart, Miss Nakaha. We're trying. Try you want, it's not gonna do anything. Besides, Primo over here is making all these shots here and there just because he got awarded the ability to go ahead and shoot mobile suits.
What can I say? They recognize talent.
He knows how to point and shoot. Everyone duck and cover. Besides, what is that thing? Regina? Isn't that one of those things, you just kind of look at the thing and then fire, don't you?
I mean, you know, it's kind of heavy, so there's that. But, yeah, pretty much just point and shoot.
And who do you think has to carry all the ammo?
Not me.
Whatever. think we're gonna be getting a new mission soon?
I'd say ask the sergeant.
Man who's been sitting patiently while playing solitaire finally chimes in. We should be getting a mission soon.
Well, there you have it.
We should be. Doesn't mean we are. Something doesn't sit right with me.
Huh?
Those Xeon guys.
Yeah.
Their mobile suits and all that they're calling it. Zaku's, whatever. Don't like them.
Just big old dumb clunkers. Besides, that's why we have me.
Big dumb clunker shouldn't be able to kill a couple hundred people and not even blink an eye.
Mobile suit pilots are, I don't know how to describe it. I think because they, have a big cushy mech to sit in, they can get away with whatever they want.
Can you even call them human at a point?
I wouldn't.
Primo, have you seen the news recently?
What news?
He pulls a newspaper out from underneath his seat and just kind of tosses it your way.
I'll catch it.
One of the cities nearby got destroyed.
By Zaku?
Turns out it was only a small platoon of Zaku's, about 5 or 6.
Those many wiped out an entire town?
Entire city.
Why isn't somebody getting on this?
You tell Elijah that.
I don't think he really wants to talk to me right now.
I'm sure he's just coming up with a good reason to get rid of us at this point.
With the whopping I gave him, I wouldn't be surprised if he sent us to the front lines.
At least then we could do something.
Yeah.
As you're all chatting away, there is a knock at the open door, to which the mysterious man, Lieutenant Elijah, makes an appearance.
Prince just gonna cough when he enters the room.
I see your spirits are high.
I can say mine is.
I'm sure. Mr. Dalida, I have a mission for you. If you don't mind, I'd like to speak it to you privately. Dalida crosses his arms for a moment and ponders it before just getting up casually, just pushing the chair behind him. I'll be a second. The 4 of you behave as much as you can. Yeah, we won't want any more incidents now, do we?
I'll be on my best behavior.
I'm sure you will. And Elijah and Dalida walk off. And then Louis Nander kind of turns the radio up a little bit while eyeing the door, and then quickly looks over to you. So I got the stuff.
The stuff?
Yeah, you know, the care package.
Oh, really?
The care package, you know?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna like hop off the bed at this point, and I'm just gonna pop in Hayato's chair that he was playing solitaire in.
He quickly, Louis goes over to the other chair, and then he stops for a second, then goes back on over to the bunks and grabs what looks like a box that he had been hiding underneath, and drags it over and slams it onto the table. The cards kind of flip around a little bit. All right. This is way more than I thought it was actually going to be, but honestly, this is kind of worth it. Judao kind of looking at this. Should you guys buy more illegal shit? It's only illegal if you get caught.
Fair enough.
And besides, we gotta have fun sometimes, right?
Need anything we can get going up against those Zakus.
I don't know about against Zaku's, but... well... to have a fun time? And he digs into the box for a second, and then produces what looks to be 3 dirty magazines.
Oh. Huh. I thought this would, be, some secret prototypes, or... Oh, I guess
Those come later. Those come later.
Oh, okay, okay.
Besides, he slams the magazines down in front of you. One of them's gotta fall down.
I'm just gonna, like... I've never really controlled one of these things before. I'm just gonna, like, be a jackass and pick it up upside down.
Breaking my heart. Anyways, I think in here... yeah, there we go. Pulls out what looks to be a whole 12-pack of beer.
Ah, nice.
This took so long to get my hands on. You have no idea how many people I had to convince to let this slide.
Well, that's why we keep you on board. I'm gonna toss...
Ain't no male better than blackmail.
You gotta teach me how to do that sometime.
If we get out of this war, who knows? Maybe I'll let you be my wingman when we go to some bars.
You know, I could see you as a very successful con artist.
Me? A con artist? No. Anyways, you don't care about any of this. Unless you want some beer.
I'll just toss one of the beers over to Yuri.
She kind of takes it a little, like, half confused, looks at it. This is good stuff.
You old enough to drink?
I'm old enough to serve. Does that matter?
Oh, fair enough.
She cracks it open and just starts drinking it.
I'll pocket one of the magazines.
Reminder, it's a dirty magazine.
Yeah, I know.
You know, porn.
I know. He's gonna pocket the porn.
But after that, Louis kind of stretches a little bit, kind of eyes the door for a second, before immediately going back to the box. Alright, so the actual important stuff, the stuff that you're probably interested in, and these were pretty hard to get my hands on, I'm not gonna lie. So I need to know, before I even show you, what you got.
What do I have to offer you?
Exactly.
Well, I know for a fact when I'm aiming that big old Regina at some scary robot dudes, I am not going to point in your direction. So that's already a plus.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Persuasion. 11.
You know what? That's fair. Well, we'll take that. All right, we got, let's see here, a couple of grenades, nothing really important there. We got a couple extra magazines for the pistols, the standard issues, you know, the thing. But these magazines are a little special.
I'm listening.
See, a couple of guys over in R&D were working on these, and technically they're not the rounds that you're supposed to be getting, so it's still a little experimental. But they do explode, at least the rounds.
I was really hoping you would say that.
I'm not sure how effective they're going to be against one of those giant mobile suits, but you use it against one of them enemies and bang, they're gone. Judao is sitting there looking at both of you going, if you could bang they're gone the mobile suits, that would be more preferable than just some random soldier, right? Like I have anything that can kill a mobile suit that, you know, any of the higher-ups would be missing.
Again, you guys need to stop worrying about the mobile suits. I said I got it taken care of.
With how things are turning, it's just gonna end up in Mobile Suit City, though.
Hey, you think we're gonna become mobile suit pilots one day?
Nakaha finally chimes in. We might not have a choice after a certain point.
Ugh. They tried to put me in one of those things. I think I'll probably... Yeah, I'd probably rather jump off a bridge if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be anywhere near one of those mobile suits either. Besides, their pilots are assholes.
Yeah. Tell me that twice.
Louis kind of scratches his head. Man, y'all are so against mobile suits. I mean, they got that new petite mobile coming out, and it looks kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, okay, if you want to become a pilot, or ever in the situation to become a pilot, which, you know, you're never gonna be, because you're either gonna get shot here, or you're gonna, survive and then, you know, never get promoted, because we're kind of stuck where we are as of current. You know what, I'm not gonna judge you. You know, have fun, your big old cushy robot, exploding other robots, but hey, don't come cry to me when you accidentally step on some dumb idiot child that's just playing in the street.
Nah, you're not seeing the future here, my guy. Think about it after the war and everything. All these robots are going to waste just sitting there doing nothing, right? They gotta be used for something. Imagine giant horse races, but with giant robots instead.
That is the single dumbest idea I've ever heard.
I'm working on it, come on.
I say just scrap them, sell them for parts.
What's the point in that, then?
More profit for whoever owns the mobile suits, which in this case it would just be the government, so, you know, whatever.
Man, no fun. Anyways, here, this is the last thing I got. He puts down what is very clearly a landmine.
Huh. Okay, so, how do I carry this thing around without accidentally blowing myself up?
See here, over on the side, there's a handle. Normally, apparently, how these things work is that they would link them up to each other. That way they could be just rolled out from, like, a big machine. But, you know, one of them just so happened to have fallen off the truck, and it wound up in my hands.
And, if you press the middle part, it just...
No, you see, there's a button right next to it that's a primer. Once it's been set, you can forget it.
Okay. Okay. Well, a little bit more
Apparently,
reassuring.
and I'm just hearing this.
You know,
Apparently, some mobile suits have used these things like whips and just thrown them at stuff. So that's kind of crazy.
how the hell does that work? Wouldn't they explode before they did any damage?
You know, that I think about it, maybe they were pulling my leg.
Yeah, that sounds a little silly.
Ah. Still, it's good to have.
Oh, well, thank you for, landmine anyway.
So why do you keep using that big old machine gun? I mean, it's belt fed, right? Can't imagine that they're giving out all that ammo.
Oh, well, you know, if I'm able to come across some, it proves useful, but, I mostly...
You got a guy that isn't me? You got a supplier?
Oh, you know, just see it, lying stuff, or I don't got a supplier or nothing. A girl deception.
You're breaking my heart! 12 in deception. You're breaking my heart, man. I'm feeling betrayed here.
Hey, listen. Skilled enough soldier doesn't need a big gun to, prove his worth.
But a hailstorm of bullets certainly helps.
You got me there.
I'm gonna hide this away before the captain comes back.
Hey, Nander, I got a question for you.
Shoot, what you got, man?
You got anybody waiting at home?
At this point, probably not. Had a girl, but I don't know, I stopped receiving letters a while ago.
Oh, ouch. What about you, Yuri?
I had a family. Had, past tense.
Huh. Man, you guys are downers.
What am I supposed to tell you? Oh no, I have a cushy family and a dog waiting for me.
Hey, how about this? Next time you get a chance to, find your way back to civilization, find someone for me.
What are you, my uncle now?
Oh, please, don't tell me that. I feel old enough as it is. My sister's getting married. My younger sister.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah. Hopefully she and her husband don't have to go through any of this shit.
Corporal chimes in. Not that you asked, but I do have someone I'm waiting for. Louis seems very intrigued by this.
Renz is actually, like, leaning over, with his, like, chin on, his, like, fist, just kind of, like, very intrigued.
Let's just say there's a man that I'm looking to marry.
Oh. Is he a civvy?
No.
Ah.
Not yet, at least.
Oh, so potentially on his way out the door.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Maybe I might be the one forcing him out the door.
Well, I sure trust your sense of survival probably more than any potential partner you may find.
My sense of survival is saying I need to kick a boot up your ass.
Well, my sense of survival is telling me to stop talking.
And that's wise. As you're saying, you're having your chit-chat, the sergeant comes in, noticeably without Elijah. He's holding a folder of papers in his hand and looking rather grim. Nander, turn the radio off. We got work to do.
Well, okay then.
Let me explain what's going on here. Apparently, there was mobile suit activity not too far from here. A couple miles out. We're gonna be heading through the forest with our equipment. No other assistance, just us. We need to go to a village not too far from here. Usually where we get most of our supply chains from. See if everything's okay.
Wait, we're going into Zaku territory alone?
Sounds like it.
Ah, shit.
I wouldn't expect combat if things go well, but we need to at least confirm that the supply chain is as stationary as it can be. And if there are any enemy units that are visible, we need to take them out as quickly as possible. Or report back.
Okay.
We'll be fine, boss. I mean, we've done stuff like this before. We're dealing with mobile suits. Best not to be easy about this. Besides, we've only had confirmed sightings. We don't know how many there are. Hell, we could be on the Xeon's doorstep right now.
Renz is just gonna stand up and stretch. Well, I guess it's time for me to put my money where my mouth is.
There's one other detail.
Eh.
Because of recent sightings, we're moving out at nightfall.
Assume for, stealth reasons.
Confirmed.
Okay.
I'd check to see how many supplies we can get before we head out, but other than that, looks like you're getting your wish, Renz. You can get some shut-eye.
Okay.
I suggest everyone does the same. Load up, get ready. We return to our group later at night, moving through the jungle with the only light being whatever optics are on your foreheads. Renz, did you acquire any extra ammunition or equipment?
Are you talking about in lieu of sleeping? Would I probably try to contact my supplier?
Yes.
Knowing that we're going against Zaku's, actually, I think Renz would do that.
Okay. What kind of supplies are you trying to pick up?
Specifically, LMG ammo and a grenade or two if I can.
Okay. Grenades are easy to get your hands on. You can get like 3 of those outright.
Okay.
LMG ammo is a bit tight, but they got you. Especially if you're up against Zaku's, they're willing to spare a little under the condition that, hey, if you kill one, take the eye and then bring it back to me. Souvenir.
I can do that.
Not sure how big they are, but would look pretty nice to hang out near one.
Worst comes to worst, I'll get a little paddle wagon.
They can supply you with... I'm trying to remember how the LMG works. Bill-fed burst 2. They can supply you with about... Let me just actually make a roll.
Okay.
About 41 rounds.
Okay.
Now what that means for you is essentially about 2 shots.
2 shots, okay.
Or just 20 shots, my bad.
20 shots, gotcha. And a single bullet left over.
Mm-hmm. As you're moving through the forest, though, it's definitely difficult to deal with the massive amount of weight that is just sitting on your back as you're carrying a Regina. Worse, though, is probably the private almost directly behind you carrying the ammo for the Regina. Just only 2 shots, though.
Hold it up there, Yuri.
I'm holding up.
Okay, don't drop that ammo. We need it.
I don't want to blow up anytime soon.
That's the right answer.
Just wish the ground wasn't so covered in mud.
Oh, you get used to it.
Why couldn't we take one of those transport vehicles again? We'd get spotted. So we walk, okay.
It was up to Dander would be flying on the back of a mobile suit right now.
I didn't say that. Nah, if it was up to me, we'd have one of those primo, like, hover bikes and just fly around the forest.
Yo, those fuckers are quiet, aren't they?
They are.
That'd be nice.
Have you seen those things? They even have a machine gun on them. Quiet. We're getting close. As you approach this village near the dead of night, you are not met with the sights and sounds of a village in full swing and the lights aplenty. You are met with darkness, charred remains, and fire. An entire village, which consisted of about 60 people, gone.
I don't get why they hit civilian towns.
Search around, there might be some survivors.
Yeah, keep that in mind. What check do you want me to roll to look for survivors?
You can either do perception, or if you're, like, doing a deep search, you can roll investigation.
I am probably... I'll just try to glance around and see if I see anybody outright. 21.
As a general look around, you don't see much of anyone. In fact, it's kind of eerie. Yeah, you would assume a village has people in it, but you're not even seeing corpses.
Can I see, like, a couple charred corpses?
With a 21, looking around, you can spot some inside buildings. They look, however, to be of women and children. Or elderly.
Where do you think all the men went?
Yuri, who's kind of been following you around, kind of looks around and goes, prisoners of war, maybe? I don't know.
Keep your eyes peeled.
This all looks kind of recent, too.
They recently blew through this town. I don't see them coming back anytime soon. Doesn't look like they left much.
Weird is I noticed that some of the stuff is still here.
What do you mean the stuff?
Like the supplies. They didn't take anything.
They didn't burn it either.
I don't want to be one of those people who's thinking the worst of things, but what if they're still around?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
As you're talking, though, you hear off in the distance, you can hear Louis, who shouts as if he has just gotten, like, attacked.
Fuck.
He goes, "Hey, stop that! Hey! You!"
Renz is just gonna run up, like, with his LMG out. Hey, what's going on?
You and Yuri run over to the situation, and you are met by this individual here.
Interesting.
Me. Burp.
Oh my god.
They, from just looking at them, it does not appear to be a Xeon soldier at all. In fact, they look small, like a teenager. And they are covered in ash, soot, and blood. It also looks like this small girl is currently biting Louis' hand.
I'm just gonna drop the LMG and quickly just, like, kind of try to snap in her face. Hey, kid! You with us?
Can I get a quick persuasion check from you?
Persuasion. 5.
They don't seem to really snap out of, like, whatever they're attempting to do, but you do see that they are, like, reaching very almost like instinctually for, like, a board to, like, attack you with.
I am going to holster my weapons, and I'm just gonna hold my hands out, just kind of both as a, hey, I'm not gonna try anything, kid, but also, like, to catch the board if she tries to swing it at me.
There's a brief moment where there is an acknowledgement there of what you've just done, which would prompt her to immediately let go of Louis' hand, and he pulls back quickly. That was my shooting hand. Jesus.
Yuri, keep watch of the area. I'm gonna try to see if there's anything, any wounds. Okay. I'm Renz. I'm not here to hurt you. We just came to investigate what happened in the town. Did you get hit by anything? Are you bleeding, or...?
Do you want to give them a bit of a medical once-over?
Yes.
Roll me a medicine. Okay, 24.
24.
A large amount of the blood you can tell that is on them is not their own.
Ugh.
But some of the blood is, as you can see that it looks like the building that they were next to when you found them had probably collapsed on them, and they're just bleeding profusely from their head.
What's your name?
Kycelia.
Celia. Okay. I'm gonna help patch you up. We're gonna try to get you out of here, but you're just gonna need to stand still for a moment. And I'm gonna take out my first aid kit and try to just kind of wrap gauze around her head to stop the bleeding.
Okay. No, with your 24, I'll let you do that, no problem.
Oh.
The mobile suits came.
You know where they went?
I know. They started destroying everything. Looking for something, I think. Not what we had. Something else. They took the village elder and everyone else, asking questions. I don't remember much else.
Don't strain yourself. Do you know if there's any other survivors?
No, I don't know.
Okay. I am actually probably going to try... do I see the sergeant or corporal anywhere?
Yeah, they're walking up just now, kind of looking at the situation, and now looking around, kind of like,
Yeah, apparently they were looking for something specifically in this town, and they're still nearby. They took some of the, villagers with them. This girl here has some, head trauma, but, other than that, I think she'll live. Memory isn't the best right now, though.
We can assume that the Zaku's are around us then still.
Yeah.
Little girl, you know how many Zaku's there were? More than one. That's not a lot to go off of, but okay.
Better than nothing. At least we know we're in for a hell of a fight if we get into a scrap, so probably best we keep our heads low for now.
Private. Offload the missiles. We're gonna need you to go take a vantage point. Yes, Sergeant.
What should we do with the girl?
If what I'm thinking is going on right now, hide her.
Okay.
We were looking all over the other areas. He just shakes his head.
Yeah. So...
The corporal does chime in for a moment.
Yep.
There was one spot that was a little weird.
I'm listening.
A hole. Not like a mass grave kind of hole. More like there was something there and now it's not kind of hole. Kind of looked like the mobile suits dug it out with their bare hands, if you could believe that.
They're looking for something in this town. They might have already got to it, whatever it is. Or maybe not. Can't say for certain.
No reports were mentioning anything coming in. At least if there was, it was probably above our pay grade.
This is a supply town, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Probably something we're not meant to know about. Yeah. Should I go ahead and...
We're being sent here to die.
You don't think Elijah's that petty, do you?
Corporal kind of gives you the stink eye for a second. Yes, I do.
That's what I was afraid of. I'll, help set up the Regina.
I'll grab the missiles off of the private.
Okay.
Private, you be careful now. If you see anything, and I do mean anything, you come back and report here. Understood? Yes, ma'am. Alright, get lost. Private runs off. Probably want to surprise them if they do show up. We don't want the Regina out in the open. It's the only one we got.
I have a question. What's the layout of the area around the town, Chibi? Is it like forest?
There is a circle of forests around. Off to the north side, there is kind of a hill area that disconnects the two halves of this town.
Yeah.
But it's just one central road and then buildings on both sides.
I could see us either hiding in the brush or maybe in one of the buildings, but I'm afraid if we get spotted in one of the buildings, they're just gonna take it down the next second. Clearly have the firepower.
But if they don't know that we're here, then the buildings might be one of the best places to hide.
That's true. Just need to make sure I don't miss.
All joking aside, you put enough time and training into that thing. You better not miss.
Well, let's hope the taxpayer dollars aren't going to waste.
How many missiles does it take to take one down?
Out of character, Chibi, was I ever told this?
You would know from your training that using the Regina to take down a mobile suit like a Zaku,
Yeah.
it depends on your aim, as it could either range between 1 to 5.
And we only have like 2 missiles, right?
You got 2 shots.
Okay. Well. If I'm not accurate enough with the Regina, it seems like everything's fucked anyway, so might as well risk it all and go for the buildings.
Louis gave you some supplies, right?
Yeah. Oh shit, I still have the landmine.
That's what I was thinking.
Huh. Maybe we could blast one of those feet off. Okay.
I doubt it would do too much damage, but it'll at least give it a surprise.
How are we gonna lure Zaku into a landmine is my main concern right now. Because all the answers I'm thinking about I don't like.
Get it to walk down the main road.
Okay. Okay. I guess at that point, Renz would start looking with Yuri for a building to set up the Regina in.
Mm-hmm. With a little bit of assistance, you get kind of the Regina tucked away in between the debris and just trash all over the place. Had to move a couple of corpses, but you did find a place to hide the Regina.
Okay.
That is a good enough of a vantage point. Though anything that might be over the hill, you got no line of sight on.
Yeah. I would probably set up the mine, I guess not like close enough to where any of the shrapnel could potentially hit anybody inside the building, but just like a little bit of ways away to where I'm still gonna have a good shot with Regina if they step on it.
Mm-hmm. After enough preparation and time, Louis, who has now bandaged up his hand, kind of goes over to you. Everything's as set as it's gonna be.
A girl really bite that hard down on your hand?
Feels like it's gone to the bone.
She's a fighter. Better not let Elijah get her hands on her.
You and I both know that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Besides, Yuri's out scouting right now. I'm not sure exactly what we're waiting for or when it's gonna happen. Here, hold on, take this. Ease up your nerves if you're gonna be using that thing. He hands you a flask.
Huh. I'll take a swig.
It's practically tastes like dirt, but it's pretty strong alcohol.
What the hell is this stuff?
The best thing I can muster. What, is it not good enough for you?
I ain't that gushy. I'll actually pop out one of my medicine tablets, and then take a swig with the alcohol. Just kind of choke it down. Oh.
So, as far as what I'm getting the gist here, the plan is that we're gonna cause some kind of distraction, or at least try to lure any mobile suits that are around up down the main road. And then once things go crazy, it's all up to you.
Yep, that's the thick of it. Just, be careful, okay?
And when have I ever been careful?
Hopefully after I take the first shot, the Zaku's will be focused on me, so...
Hey, if you can knock it on its ass, then we can all hop up on top of it, pop the hatch open, and get the pilot. And then we got a free mobile suit, right?
Don't know if it's that easy, but, hey. Maybe I'll try to keep it mostly intact for you. How does that sound?
It sounds like we got a whole lot of money waiting on this.
Oh, wait. Just in case. I'm gonna hand him a grenade.
Not sure what this is gonna do, but appreciate it.
If worst comes to worst and you find yourself on top of a barely functioning mobile suit, you can always toss it down the cockpit.
Now you're thinking. All right, I like it.
You know how to
Anyways.
use one of these things, right?
Yeah, I know how to use a grenade.
Just making sure.
I've been talking your ear off. Good luck, right?
You too, man. And I'm gonna give him a handshake.
He takes the handshake and pulls you in for like a side hug.
Just pat him on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, showtime!
All right. As time goes on and the night slowly starts turning into dawn, you can see the Private Jidao come back and report again to the sergeant, who kind of nods his head a little bit and kind of gives you a signal indicating that there are 2 Zakus around.
Ah, shit.
And as that signal's being given, he also motions that one of them is near the main road.
Okay. I'm gonna basically...
With that mark, you can hear it, something in the forest moving. Parting the trees to the side. You see this.
Shit.
Dingy beat up a Zaku 2 casually strolling out into the clearing. Gun in hand, it looks to be a standard issue. No special markings on this Zaku. In fact, no markings on this Zaku. Maybe it was stripped for some reason. But the only thing of interest on this Zaku, realistically, is that there is something attached to the back of it. Like the back belt area. Looks like a canister of some kind. It's big. Like, kind of like a grain silo big.
Ah, that's interesting. This is what our wonderful military doesn't want us to know about. Rince is just kind of talking to himself as he's staring down this site of the Regina.
Mm-hmm. The Zaku is looking side to side. While walking down the main road.
How close is it to the landmine at this point?
Fairly close. In fact, as it gets closer, it only becomes more and more apparent to you just the sheer size of a mobile suit. How close you are at this point. You can feel each footstep that this mobile suit makes. Almost like a mini earthquake. And then it stops just before the landmine. It starts turning and looking around.
There's a little bead of sweat going down Rince's forehead, but he's maintaining his breath. Step a little closer.
And then, as if breaking away from like any particular orders, you do see Louis down the road dart out from one house and going across the street to another, which the Zaku immediately catches attention to and moves down the street. The Zaku steps directly onto the landmine, and there is an eruption of flame and shrapnel. At this very moment, what would you like to do, Batty?
Okay. So the Zaku. Can I see what how damaged the Zaku is, or is there too much smoke at this point?
There is a large amount of smoke, and you get the sensation that if you don't act immediately,
Yeah.
you might not get another chance.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the shot.
Okay.
Do I need to specify where I'm trying to aim?
You can if you would like.
Okay. Knowing my knowledge of mobile suits and doing the training exercises, would I know the pilot is located in the center mass?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if you were present for what mobile suit combat is like, I will inform you that attempting to directly shoot at where the pilot would be located is a plus 12 to the target AC.
Okay.
Which means that if you would like to, it is slightly reduced, the AC of this Zaku, because you have a weapon designed specifically for attacking mobile suits.
Yes.
However, you are also point blank, or close to point blank with this thing. So it is reduced slightly as well. If you want to pursue shooting at the pilot, it would be you would need a 18 or higher to hit it.
Okay. That being said, would the head be more or less of a target for me to hit?
The head
Yes.
is at a plus 6 as opposed to a plus 12.
I don't like this, but guess I'm not gonna be able to pay back my dilly today, and I am going to aim for the head instead, because I don't want this thing having sights on my friend.
Okay.
What do I roll to hit?
I would ask you to roll a dexterity plus proficiency.
Okay. So that is a 15.
That will just barely hit.
Oh, fuck.
We're like 1 over the equivalent of meets and beats. But I would like you to roll 2d10 plus 5.
2d10 plus 5. Okay, 19.
You fire off the missile, and there's a string. So these missiles are guided, which allows you to target limbs and things of that sort.
Yes.
But you connect directly with the head of this Zaku, and there is a brief pause before the head erupts into shrapnel and optics and all of the sorts. It's practically raining shrapnel around you. In the split second, you have the choice of either trying to reload, or you can run off to go do anything else. But the Zaku, now having stepped on a landmine and having its head blown off, takes a step back and it readies the gun, but without any optics, it doesn't really know what it's shooting at, but it knows where it got shot from.
Okay.
So it swings the gun roughly in your general direction.
Okay, so, I can either reload or run off, is what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a question. I know there's two Zaku, right?
Yes, you haven't seen the second one yet.
Okay. And I can't move the Regina because it's too
You
heavy.
can. It's portable.
Okay. I am going to run out of the building with the Regina into the next building.
Okay. And in that split second of movement, I need to roll a thing. Time for me to pull up to see if this thing hits you or not. It is rolling with disadvantage. So, a 10. Does a 10 hit you?
No.
Okay. You are shaken as you can hear directly behind you as you're running through these dilapidated buildings. You can feel the earth being reformed directly behind you. But you successfully avoided being shot at in what most certainly would have made you haste.
Okay, this is fun.
At that same moment, because your squad mates aren't going to do nothing.
Yeah.
You can see as the dust is clearing just slightly. You can see the Private Judao is raising a rifle up to potentially try and shoot at any core elements within the joints to see if they can try to disable it.
Okay.
14, that will hit. The damage, not likely to do much, though. Three. So there is... You can see that the Private actually does make some good shots in. It doesn't seem to be affecting much, but it does look like some damage is being done, which is actually not a bad thing. Meanwhile, the smoke clearing, you can see that the corporal is actually being a bit bold, we should say. She's attempting to climb the mobile suit.
Shit.
Quite successfully at that. With climbing up to the mobile suit, all she has is a knife in her mouth.
Remind me never to piss that lady off.
The sergeant, however, is nowhere to be seen. You have no idea where he is.
Okay. So is it my turn again?
Yes.
So reloading, is that one action for the Regina?
Yes.
Better be on fucking guard. I'm gonna reload the Regina.
Okay.
And, can I make, can I try to get a look at the tank that's behind the Gundam
Yes.
on its belt?
Give me a perception check.
Perception.
Based on what you see,
Yep.
the container says flammable, but with the information that you were given from the corporal,
Yeah.
if it was actually flammable and what they did to acquire it, it might not actually be.
Okay.
But something is in there that may or may not be either a gas or a liquid.
Interesting.
In fact, I'm going to let you have the advantage on this. I had said previously that there were no markings on this this Zaku, and that is correct.
Yes.
But you do notice a strange marking on the canister on its back. While the canister is sideways on its back, you can see what looks to be kind of plainly written out there, a logo of some kind that looks like an upside down green pyramid.
Okay.
And you don't recognize that logo at all.
I'll put it into the back of my mind for now. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye out because I can't really do anything else on the rest of my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's my turn then.
Okay. As that is happening, the Zaku is going to... I'm going to roll a thing. Okay. It is in a panic state. It is going to just continue fire in the location where you were previously, continuously shaking the ground and the earth around you. But you are at least knowledgeable enough that you are relatively safe. Relative is the term here.
I'm still like a couple yards away from a building that's being fucking pulverized by giant artillery fire.
Yeah. That's why I said relative safety.
Yeah.
There's probably some debris that's flung around and kind of given you a couple scrapes along the side, but nothing too bad.
Okay. I'm hanging in there.
But as that is happening, you can see just over the hill a Mono-Eye appear.
And there's his friend, Buck. Do we have any comms at all?
You do not.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my position for now.
The only form of communication you were ever given was if you needed to communicate with home base.
Yeah.
Which was a flare gun, which you have 2 flares.
Okay.
A green one for all clear, and a red one for foobar.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to know that. Okay. I assume it's my teammate's turn.
Yes. The corporal, I need to do another check for her. Let's see how she's doing. She's good at her job. 17. Okay. The corporal is going to continue climbing the Zaku and start getting up towards the front, where she's now pulled the knife out and is attempting to pry open the cockpit.
Shit, okay.
The private, let's see how she's doing. Not great. It's not doing a whole lot to the Zaku, but then again, she's now actively aware that the corporal is present and doesn't really want to shoot her. At this point in time, with your perception check, you can spot that the sergeant is a ways down the road, farther than where Louis was, and he is looking for something, from what you can tell. He's either looking for something or setting something up.
Bastard.
Which is unnerving, because he is dangerously close to the other enemy Zaku.
Is he aware of it? Or can I tell from this distance?
You can't tell.
Okay.
But Louis appears to have popped up from the building that he ran off into, and he is armed to the teeth, we shall say, with grenades.
Oh, okay.
He had mentioned it earlier that they weren't too hard to get his hands on, and it appears that he had been holding out on you a little bit.
Ah, that stingy bastard.
He looks as though he is just getting ready in case something goes wrong with the corporal, but he has, with a 20 on your perception, he is holding in his hands not just any standard grenades, he's holding some incendiary.
Okay.
Alright, moving back to you, Mr. Primo.
So the other Zaku is on its way, and
Yes.
Okay. Can I try to signal over to the sergeant?
How would you like to attempt to do that?
How far is he away from me?
A good couple 100 feet.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use half of my movement to run to the building that is beside the building that I'm currently in, but not the one that is being shot up by the Zaku. I'm gonna say, Sergeant, on your 12! And then after saying that, I'm going to very quickly run back into the building where I previously was.
Okay. I will roll to see if you heard that. Oh, I didn't want to roll 3d20s. He's just that good. But he still rolls a 20. So he does hear what you said. Despite the deafening sound of the Zaku pulling the trigger on its gun haphazardly, your voice does get to him, and he kind of looks up and then turns around to see the Zaku. He doesn't seem fazed by it at all. If anything, it looks like he might have been expecting it.
That crazy asshole's always up to something. Okay. I have one more Regina missile. I don't want to waste it. So what I'm going to do is, if I shot at the Zaku, I'd be putting the corporal in danger, correct?
Potentially.
I am going to hold my action to fire at the second Zaku if they look like they're about to engage with any of my teammates.
Okay. Then, in that case, going to the Zaku's, or actually, yeah, no, with your teammates first really quickly here. Let's just see how the corporal does really quick, because she's kicking ass right now. Or wants to kick someone's ass. Natural 20.
Oh, fuck.
Bypassing any of the safety systems, the corporal has ejected the doors of the Zaku open, forcing it, whatever it was doing, to stop. Not because the Zaku itself has a safety system to stop pulling the trigger, but because the pilot is shitting himself. And the corporal, now fully in view of a fleshy human to work with, will with knife still in hand, pull out a pistol and just unload. Let's just see if she actually hits. Yes.
Yeah.
And yes.
Yeah.
So all you just hear is bang bang. I don't think I need to roll damage. You get the idea what's going on there.
There's Zaku stops firing, and there might be a little blood dripping out from part of the robot. Pretty good.
Okay. I then need to roll a thing for the other Zaku. I need to see something. Okay, that is enough to spot that. But coming up to the top of the hill, the Zaku in question that has now appeared, you can see is looking over the area. It doesn't see you. It doesn't see the sergeant. It doesn't see the private. It doesn't see Louis. But it does, however, see the corporal.
I was worried
and
about.
It fixes the gun and fires.
Would my thing go off?
Do you want to target anything in particular, or just aiming?
So if I target anything in particular, the AC goes up, correct?
Correct.
I'm gonna try to target the head again.
Okay. So, as a gentle reminder, it is a fairly high AC.
Oh, because this is far away, wouldn't the AC be higher?
Yes.
By how much would you say?
This would be... So I said it was an 18 if you wanted to hit the cockpit originally on close range. Hitting the cockpit would probably be somewhere around a 20 to 22. So you are looking at...
What if I'm in with the head?
Hitting the head, it would be... You would need to get a 17 or higher.
Yeah, no. I am going to... This is difficult, Chibi. I'm going to aim for the head.
Okay.
This is less than a 50% chance of working, by the way.
Yep.
15.
Nope.
That's 17 with my proficiency bonus.
In which case, yes, that just hits.
Oh my god!
That just hits.
Oh my god, Rince is gonna take a deep breath.
Would you like to please roll the damage?
Yes, I would. 2d10. Plus how much?
It was like +4, but it's fine. You completely shatter the head of this Zaku, as if it wasn't even there. But that doesn't stop it from pulling the trigger.
Yes.
I want you to be aware of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it has disadvantage on its shot, but it's pretty hard to not hit a standing still target.
Yeah, I get that.
Either way, it's gonna hit. I need to roll damage not because of the corporal's HP, but because of the Zaku she's currently standing on. Okay. With the amount of damage that you had already done to the previous Zaku, the one that the corporal is standing on, the Zaku that is on the hill unloads bullets directly into where the corporal would be standing. And You're relatively close to said Zaku. Please make a dexterity save.
Yeah, there we go. Dex save. 20.
Making cover, you successfully avoid most of the damage. But what you don't avoid is the sight of the Zaku exploding and the corporal going with it.
And okay. Damn it!
At that moment, it is your turn, Renz.
Okay. If I were to try to see if was the explosion like a definitive anybody caught in the range would have instantaneously died, from what I could tell?
It was
Or
that a good majority of the mobile suit had gone up in flame. The reactor, or whatever reactor would be on board, still hasn't been hit yet, which is why you're probably still alive right now.
Yes.
You could also note very quickly that the canister on its back is in pristine condition, as if it was not even bothered by what was happening.
Could I try to see if I saw the corporal?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 16.
You don't see the corporal, you just see fire.
Do I... damn it. Could I try to potentially find her if I got closer?
Potentially.
Okay, I am going to move closer to the Zaku.
Towards the burning Zaku now?
To the burning Zaku.
Okay. You will take some damage. Just letting you be aware of that.
Okay. I'm fine with this.
Okay. You will take 4 points of fire damage.
This is good for my lungs. Do I see the corporal?
Give me a second to check if you do. I need to do a couple rolls. Or a roll, I guess. You do see the corporal. Not in a condition you'd like to be seeing her, however. From what you can see in these remains of a Zaku, the corporal is present, lying on the ground, missing some limbs.
Okay.
There is blood everywhere.
I am going to use my action to go in there and see if I can somehow stop the bleeding.
Make a medicine check.
Come on. 23.
I was going to say you would need like something over a 20 in order to even do this. But you do bandage up the corporal. You at least stop the bleeding. You're not sure in what condition the corporal is in outside of that.
Okay,
Both you and the corporal are technically on fire right now, by the way.
could I use the rest of my turn to try to drag her out of the wreckage?
I will let you do that.
Okay. That's gonna be my turn then.
The rest of your group, seeing the situation, the private, not sure what to do outside of what they've already been doing, is going to take attention and try to shoot at the other Zaku. And will successfully hit. For probably not a lot of damage, but...
Fair nothing.
About 4 damage. And... Louis is going to... Seeing the situation and seeing what you're doing... Going to kind of steel himself for a second and start rushing towards the other Zaku, grenades in hand. And he's going to start trying to yeet them.
Go, buddy.
He's got a pretty good pitching arm. Not that good, apparently. He more like football, like yeets it into the ground practically. It doesn't get very far, but thankfully it's not in a position where it can hurt anyone.
Yeah.
The sergeant is too focused on the Zaku, and he didn't see what had happened. But what you don't see is that the sergeant is grabbing something from in front of him, and he lifts up from what the audience would now see was a supply depot, and he pulls up a rocket launcher.
Oh!
And he will fire. And miss. That's disappointing. Oh well.
Where does the rocket go?
It just goes off into the distance and probably hits a tree somewhere.
Okay.
Somewhere out there. The Zaku has been shot. It doesn't have a head anymore. So it is... I need to roll to determine what it's going to do next. It will focus on the most recent damage it took.
Ah, fuck.
Which means the gun, despite not being able to see, it getting a vague idea of where it needs to shoot, is turning its attention towards the private.
Yuri, get out the way!
And I will now need to roll to hit. Double sixes. It shoots wide, completely avoiding the private entirely. Which gives her hearing what you're saying and then getting the response. Yeah, she's ducking down and trying to bunker down into the ruins a little. What you also know is that where the private is currently at is where the civilian was. Emphasis on was, because looking over there, you don't see them anymore.
Damn it.
It's potentially true that they might have run away, in which case that might be for the best.
I can't worry about that now.
Yeah, we're all... I need to roll a d20 really quick. This is what we would call a death save. Just a 10. Alright. Primo, what would you like to do?
Okay, so how far is the other Zaku away from me?
A good... about 300 feet.
300 feet. Fun fact, does this other Zaku also have a canister on its belt?
The other one? No, it does not.
What the fuck is this stuff?
The canister, as a reminder, looks like it, even though the Zaku that had it blew up, it looks like it was not even scratched at all.
Okay.
Now that you're closer to it, you can see that it does look like there is a hatch of some sorts, as if to get inside of it.
And it's not on fire currently.
No.
Okay, and I've done everything that I can do for the corporal, right?
I mean, you're dragging her.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of try to drag her out of the, I guess, potential blast radius as much as I can, and then I am going to actually investigate the canister.
Okay. Please give me a quick investigation check.
Let's do this. 5.
In the heat of the moment, you don't see anything too particular other than there is a hatch and a handle to open it.
I'm opening it.
Okay. Opening it up, you are surprised to see that there is no gas or liquid inside this. There is something in there. In fact, looking into it, it almost kind of vaguely looks like a cockpit of some sort, but it's too dark in there to see.
Don't really have many options right now. I'm going inside of the canister.
Okay. I must ask you a simple question.
Yes.
At this moment, what is Ren's Primo feeling?
He is feeling a little bit of anxiety, but more so, I guess, raw determination. He doesn't know what this thing is or what this thing does, but if it has any inkling on taking out the other Zaku, he is going to use it to the best of his ability.
How strong is that determination?
Strong enough to run into a burning fire to save his commanding officer, and then risk it all jumping into a strange vehicle that he has no idea what it is.
Okay, then permit me to do something for you really quick here. I'm going to roll a d4 of damage.
Okay.
You take 1 point of piercing damage, as when hopping into this thing, you feel something inject you, like in the back of the neck. And then
What the hell?
everything kind of stops for a second. Almost weightless, even. Like you're just observing everything around you instead. In fact, it's kind of weird. You're not even in the cockpit of this thing anymore. And you're looking down, and you can see everything. Like a battle map, almost like a weird video game. And then you can see the enemy Zaku. What are your intentions? What do you want to do to that Zaku?
I want to split it in half.
You, with your core emotions and that simple desire of ripping that Zaku in half, you hear a thunderous clap and a crunching, rusting, twisting metal sound. Your attention is drawn back to the Zaku that is currently destroyed, and you can see it start to move and bend and twist. This machine that against all odds should be completely inoperable and have no way of working grab the rifle that is just laying on the ground on fire with its twisted, gnarled metal fingers wrapping around it, almost molding into it, and it lifts the gun up and then fires it at the enemy Zaku. I hear a violent ripping sound as even the bullets in midair almost kind of explode, as if they're being used in a bastardization of its own will. Something is happening, and you don't know how you're doing it, but your hatred towards that enemy Zaku is fueling whatever is going on. I need to make a couple rolls.
Okay.
Okay. So you should have 6 HP at the current moment, right?
Correct.
With these rolls, I will allow you to do one of two things.
Yes.
I will allow you to either shoot at the Zaku as if you were a Zaku, or I will allow you to completely rip this apart, this Zaku apart, just as you have desired. However, you will take a few more damage, a few more pieces of damage, and there will be repercussions for your future.
I don't think at this point Rins would be focused on anything other than destroying the Zaku. So, he is going to take the damage and the repercussions.
You take an additional 4 points of piercing damage as your hatred and anger flood into you, and there's almost like a flash of that weird pyramid that you had seen, the upside down pyramid, and then the words Delta flashing in your mind for a few moments. And you can almost, like it's a toy, reach out and just crush that Zaku like a can. And you do that. You rip it asunder violently. There is destruction present there, all that's left. Like a force of nature with its bare hands digged into this mobile suit and ripped it in half. And then everything went black. And we come back to the present of that memory. I'm going to very quickly roll a thing. The corporal did survive. Private survived. The sergeant survived. And as crazy as Louis is, he survived.
Ugh.
The civilian, who you now know as Caecilia Trinity, the lone survivor of the village, survived. And it was all thanks to you. Which is funny, because at the end of the day, it was Elijah Garcia that was given the credit to all of this. It's a horrible, horrible memory, and there's still a weird mark on the back of your neck that reminds you of that almost daily.
Rin's kind of thinking back to that day. He's gonna pop a pill in his mouth and choke it down with whiskey.
Mm-hmm. As you're doing that, the door swings open, and now Colonel Elijah Garcia steps in. Well, hello there, Renz.
Hi.
Pleasure meeting you. I'm glad you could stop by.
What's this about?
What can't two old friends meet up with each other? No, I don't suppose they can.
I know better than to... Sorry, I was just going through it. With you, there's always a catch.
No cash this time. I have a proposition for you. Please, by all means, sit. Enjoyed the whiskey? I hope you did.
A little bit watered down, but I'll take it.
I can't spend all of my good stuff. I only got one bottle. Anyways, let me cut the chit chat, and he goes over and sits in his large, comfy chair. Almost looks like a lazy boy. And he digs through his desk for a moment and pulls out a folder and hands it to you. One of the sides is needing a delivery. Apparently there's a museum going on there. Mobile Suit Museum, weird like that. But there's something going on there that I think might be interesting to you.
What would that be?
Well, you see, typically Earth Federation, we can't get involved in little bits and baubles of everything, but you're not Earth Federation anymore, oh yeah. There's something going down there, and I thought, who better to go and investigate this than someone that I know I can trust, right?
And, what makes you think I'm the best person for this job?
Why, because out of everyone, you know Mr. Nanda the best, don't you? I ain't stupid. That Louis Nanda fella, ever since he left, nothing but trouble.
Have something on Louis?
No, but I think you do. And if he's the one who's organizing this weird museum of sorts, he's doing something.
You really think Louis up to this, don't you?
His name might not be on that document, but it reeks of him all over. Go ahead, give it a look over. I think you'll be inclined to agree.
I'm just kind of glaring at him, but I'll open the document.
You don't see anything immediately that looks like it spells out Louis, but what you do see is an upside-down pyramid.
I'll investigate this, but I'm telling you now, Louis had nothing to do with this.
It's fine if he isn't there, but there's good money in it, and I felt I could lend a hand to someone in need, you know?
Yeah, he's just gonna kind of glare a little bit. Well, I guess I don't really have much of a choice to say no, do I?
That's the spirit.
Okay.
Anyways, there's a cargo ship that's going to be off real soon. It's currently refueling in station as we speak. I'll have all of the clarifications and everything for you. You just need to hop on there and be on your merry way.
I have a question for you about this specific job.
By all means, go ahead.
I'm gonna plop the document down on the desk. I'm gonna point to the Green Pyramid. Does it seem familiar to you?
No, but I remember reports saying that it might be something important to you.
Can I roll an insight check on that?
He knows something, but you get the sensation that it's a above pay grade thing that he himself shouldn't know.
Yeah, whatever. I'll just fold up the document. Is there anything else I need to do for you? Or is this it?
I mean, if you want to polish the mobile suits that are on that transport ship, I think everyone would appreciate that, but that's up to you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll be back in a day or two. It shouldn't take long.
We'll see about that. Have a good one. And with that, you leave, and we'll end the one shot there.
Okay. Well, that was something.
Yes.
I really like that.
Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.